Hi guys, so now we're going to do a June 2022 past paper for grade 11. It's an exemplar past paper for grade 11, right? So we're going to start off with question 1.1 where we are asked, the question says that for which values of x is this expression here real, right? What do you know about this nature of roots, right? So when it discriminant, it's equals to 0. It has roots that are real, right? And then you can continue, but we don't really care about anything else after that. But you know that when the discriminant is also greater than 0, it also has real roots, right? So meaning you have to combine these two. You have to say the discriminant is greater or equal to 0. It is actually real, right? It is real. So then you're going to put everything that is inside the square root of this problem here, which is x plus 3 all over x plus 1 to the power 2 greater or equals to 0, right? And then from here, you're just going to cross multiply, right? What's at the bottom will multiply the 0, and then this one here will multiply over 1 here. You will remain with x plus 3 is greater or equals to 0. And then you transpose the 3 to the other side, you have x being greater or equals to minus 3. So this is your solution for this problem, right? Which values of x will give you real roots is when x is greater or equals to minus 3. Now let's go to 1.2, right? It's just solving for x for now, so everything I'm sure it's simple. You guys are enjoying. So now let's go to 1.2 where we are asked to solve for x. 1.2.1, we have already factorized everything, right? Everything is factorized. All you have to do is just equate. We have x plus 4, x minus 1 is equals to 0. So we're just equating, right? We're saying x plus 4 is equals to 0, this 0 here, or x minus 1 is equals to 0. Then you're going to transpose this 4 to the other side, transpose this 1 to the other side. We have x being equals to minus 4, or x being equals to 1. So these are your solutions of x for this problem here of 1.2.1. And then to do 1.2.2, we are given a standard form of 3x squared minus 2x is equals to 14, right? And you're told that our answers must be in 2 decimal places, right? Let me just write 1.2.2. So the first thing we do, we transpose this to the other side. We have 3x squared minus 2x minus 14 is equals to 0. So it's important for you to transpose it so that you have your standard form, right? This is a standard form of equation. You get a mark for that. And then you put it in your quadratic formula because we can't factorize this. Hence, they told us to write down in decimal place. So it's minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac, right? Divide by 2a, right? So you're going to substitute all your values inside here. Your a value is equals to 3. Your b value is equals to minus 2. And your c value is equals to minus 14. Please substitute in this quadratic formula. You should get your solutions to be x equals to 2.52 or x is equals to minus 1.85, right? Let me know in the comment section on which values you got here. So these are the solutions of x for this problem here of 1.2.2. Now going to 1.2.3 where we are having this expression here which is really interesting. So the first thing you're going to do here is I'm going to write it down. So it's x squared minus 2x is equals to 18 minus 45 over x squared minus 2x. What's common here? X squared minus 2x, right? It's here and it's also here. So we can use the value of k. So we can substitute the value of k. So what you can do is you can say let k be equals to x squared minus 2x, right? So meaning where there's x squared minus 2x, you're going to put k, right? So you're just going to say k, k is equals to, actually, it's equals to 18 minus 45 over k, right? So because we want to remove this k that is at the bottom here, we have to multiply by k. Everywhere we just multiply by k, right? And then we'll have k squared here is equals to 18k minus 45, right? And then we transpose everything that is on this side to the other side of the equation. we have k squared minus 18k plus 45 is equals to 0, right? And then we're going to factorize this, right? To factorize it, you equate to 0, and then factors of k squared is k and k. Factors of 45 such that they give you the middle term when you add or subtract is 15 and 3, right? So you're just going to say minus and minus here. So k is equals to 15 or k is equals to 3, right? So obviously we're not looking for the solutions of k, but we're looking for the solutions of x, right? So we need to identify the solutions of x. So by so doing, we have to go back to what we did in the initial part of the problem, right? We said let k be equals to x squared minus 2x. So we're just going to put x squared minus 2x here. So we're going to say x squared minus 2x is equals to what? 15, right? And then we transpose this 15 to the other side. We have x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals to 0. And then we factorize these equals to 0. So it's going to be x and x. And factors of 15 such that when you add or subtract, they give you the middle term. You're going to say it's 3 and 5, right? So you're just going to say this is minus and this is plus. X is equals to minus 3 or x is equals to 5, right? So these are your solutions of x. Remember, but we also have this k is equals to 3. So you're just going to say, what are the solutions of k is equals to 3? So you're going to substitute x squared minus 2x is equals to 3. Transpose the 3 to the other side. We have x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals to 0. Then we factorize. We equal to 0. The factors of x squared is x and x. Factors of 3 such that when you add or subtract, they give you the middle term. It's 3 and 1, right? So we're going to say here it's minus and here it's plus, right? So we're just going to say x is equals to minus 1 or x is equals to 3, right? So these are your solutions of x for this problem here. So we are done solving for x for 1.2.3. So now we're going to move on to 1.2.4. I'm sorry if there's a background noise. It's just beyond my control. But anyways, I hope you guys can hear me clearly. Right, so far we are enjoying this, right? If you have any questions or you are stuck in one of the problems, let me know in the comment section. I will help you out. So let's continue to 1.2.4, right? So we have the root of 5 minus x plus 1 is equals to minus x, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we transpose this 1 to the other side. And then we'll have the root of 5 minus x is equals to minus x minus 1, right? And then the second step here is to square both sides. Remember, we are trying to find the solutions of x. So we're just going to square both sides to remove the square root, right? So you're going to have 5 minus x is equals to minus x minus 1. So let's expand this, minus x minus 1. Why are we expanding it? Because there's to the power 2 here, right? So we're just going to expand it, and then we find the product. Right, so it's going to be 5 minus x is equals to, and then we multiply here using our fold method, so it's going to be x squared, the first part, oops, sorry about that, let me remove it. It's going to be x squared, the first part, this one and this one, we multiply together, and then when we multiply the minus x with this minus 1 here, it's going to be x, right? So it's going to be plus x, and also here, this and this is going to be plus x, and then plus 1, right? So it's going to be 5 minus x is equals to x squared plus 2x plus 1. And then we transpose this to the other side. We have x squared plus 2x plus 1. And then this that we transposed, it becomes plus x and minus 5 equals to 0, right? And then you collect the like terms, so it's x squared. And then these are the like terms, so it's going to be plus 3x. And then this 1 and minus 5 is going to be minus 4 equals to 0. And then we factorize these, we equate to 0, so it's going to be x and x, 4 and 1 are the factors, and then this will be positive and this will be negative. So x is equals to 1 or x is equals to minus 4, right? So then when you have a sad form of equation like this one here, the solutions, you don't always just say these are the final solutions, right? You need to test them. You need to put them in the root here, and test if these are the final solutions of x. For an example, for this one here, obviously we have the root of 5 minus x plus 1 equals to minus x, right? And what is the first solution? X is equals to 1, right? So let's substitute this x is equals to 1 in this equation and see if we're going to get the left hand side being equals to the right hand side. So it's going to be the root of 5 minus 1 plus 1 is equals to minus, what's the x value? 1, right? So 5 minus 1 is 4, so the root of 4 is 2. The root of 4 plus 1 is equals to minus 1. So root of 4 is 2, so it's 2 plus 1 is equals to minus 1. So this 3 is equals to minus 1, so definitely this is not equals to that. 3 is not equals to minus 1. So this is not equals to x. X is not equals to 1, basically. That's what it means. And then we substitute for, the other solution of x now, right? We're going to substitute the other solution of x. In this case, x is equals to minus 4, right? So it's going to be the square root. 5 minus into minus 4 plus 1 is equals to minus 4, right? And then here, we're just going to get 9 plus 1 is equals to 4, right? And then the root of 9 is 3 plus 1 is equals to 4, so it's 4 is equals to 4. So definitely they're equal. What am I doing? They're definitely equal. It's 4 is equals to 4, right? So this confirms that this is definitely the solution of x. So this x equals to 4 minus 4 is correct. So we only have one solution of x here. So we are done by so doing, right? So now let's move on to 1.2.5, right? We're just going to solve for x using a problem that contains exponents, right? As you can see, it's quite interesting. I think it's just, one of the problems that I believe you guys will get it right. It's really interesting. It's not so difficult. So it's 1.2.5, right? So we have 3 to the power of 2x plus 1 minus 4 multiplied by 3 to the power of x is equals to minus 1. So the first step you do here, you write it in standard form. What do I mean by that? You write it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So this is a standard form, right? For us to do that, we need to transpose this minus 1 to the other side, so that we transpose this minus 1 to the other side so that we write it properly. So it's going to be 3 to the power of 2x plus 1 minus 4 multiplied by 3 to the power of x plus 1 is equals to 0. So now it's in standard form, right? So you're just going to break this exponent form here. You're going to say 3 to the power of 2x multiplied by 3 to the power of 1 minus 4 multiplied by 3 to the power of x plus 1 is equals to 0, right? And if you notice here, we are having 3 to the power of 2x, we're having 3 to the power of x, right? So we have to use the value of k. Let k be equals to 3 to the power of x. So meaning when it's 3 to the power of 2x, it's going to be equals to k squared, right? So just like in this case here, we're just going to have k squared. So it's going to be k squared multiplied by this 3 to the power of 1 minus 4 multiplied by k plus 1 equals to 0. Now let's write it properly. So it's going to be 3k squared minus 4k plus 1 is equals to 0, right? From here we factorize, right? To find the factors of this, it's going to be 3k and k. Obviously it's going to be 1 and 1. And then we need to put signs such that when we add and subtract, it gives us this minus 4k, right? So you need to be very careful when we factorize here. It's going to be minus here and minus here, right? And then 3k minus 1 is equals to 0, or k minus 1 is equals to 0, right? Let me write the solution here. So it's 3k is equals to 1, or k is equals to 1. And then here we're just going to divide by 3, and then k is equals to 1 over 3, or k is equals to 1. But remember, what is k? K is equals to 3 to the power of x. So we're just going to write that down, right? 3 to the power of x is equals to 1 over 3, or 3 to the power of x is equals to 1, right? And then we write this properly, so it's going to be 3 to the power of x equals to 3 to the power of minus 1, or 3 to the power of x is equals to 3 to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Then you drop the exponent, so it's going to be x equals to minus 1, or x equals to 0. So I hope you guys understood this. If you didn't, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I hope you are enjoying yourself here. You're understanding, all right? Let's continue solving these problems, which are interesting to do. So now we're going to do another interesting problem. A lot of students get it wrong, by the way. This one, even in grade 12, people get it wrong. This one here, A, 1.2.6a. It says x squared minus 3x less than or equals to 0. So a lot of students get it wrong. Please listen here. This one you need to listen carefully, so that if you get it right in grade 11, then definitely in grade 12 you're going to get it right. So what you do here, the first step is we factorize x. We leave x inside, minus 3, less than or equals to 0. And then we write critical values. So it's critical values. We say x is going to be equals to 0, this 0 here, or x is equals to 3. These are your critical values. You haven't finished solving. Then you're going to draw your number line here and put your critical values. So your critical value, the first one is 0. I'm going to write critical value. The second one is 3. And I'm going to write critical value. So now here is the important part. You need to test values before your critical value. So any value that's before 0, we can say it's minus 1. You're going to test it. And test the value that is between your critical values. Let's say it's 2. Test the value that is after your critical value. Let's say it's 4. So you're going to test these values. You're going to test x being equals to minus 1. How do you test it? You substitute in this equation here. Substitute in x squared minus 3x, right? The important thing is to identify the sign that you're going to get when you substitute. So let's put in, so it's going to be minus 1 squared minus 3 into minus 1. What are you getting? So here's going to be 1 plus 3, so it's going to be 4. So what's important is that this 4 is positive. So you're going to write down the sign. We know that 4 is positive, so we're going to write down positive here, meaning that all the values that are less than your critical value are positive. So that's the important thing. And then you do the same thing for x equals to 2. Remember I said you're testing values that are before your critical value, between your critical value, and after your critical value. So this one we are done. We want to test this one now. X is equals to 2, right? We substitute where an x squared minus 3x. So meaning here it's 2, so it's going to be squared minus 3 into 2. And here it's going to be 4 minus 6, right? So it's minus 2. This is negative, right? The solution is negative, meaning that in between your critical value, you're going to get a negative solution of y, right? So then we continue again, we'll test. We'll be testing, just testing here. So we're going to test x now being equals to 4. So this one we are done testing it. We're going to test this one. We want to identify the sign after the critical value. So we're testing where at x squared minus 3x, right? So we substitute 4 here, minus 3 into 4. So it's going to be 16 minus 12, right? Which is 4 basically, right? So what's important is this 4 is positive. So meaning any value that is after your critical value is positive. Then the turning point or the moment, the turning moment is here now. Listen carefully. So what does this equation say? It says the value of x, it's x squared minus 3x less than or equals to 0. So here we are asked to solve for x, right? Solutions of x when we have solutions of y that are less than or equals to 0. So what are the solutions of x when the solutions of y are less than or equals to 0? So anything that is less than or equals to 0, it is negative, right? It's negative. The sign is negative. Where in this number line do we see a negative? We see it here, right? That's what we are looking for. So what are the solutions of x when we have a y value that is negative? We're going to use our critical values. There's one critical value, there's another critical value here. So which means all these values are between our critical values. So we're going to conclude and say x must lie between critical value of 0 and critical value of 3. So someone can write it like this, or someone can say x must be greater or equals to 0, or x must be less than or equals to 3. So this means the same, right? So that's how we solve this problem here. If you didn't understand, please let me know in the comment section. This one is really important. You need to know it. As you can see here, it's 2 marks, but it's not always 2 marks. It's more than this. So we are done. We're going to do B now, which states that if f of x is equals to x squared minus 3x, right? Write down the values of x for which f of x minus 3 is less than or equals to 0. So we're having f of x being equals to x squared minus 2x. You can see this, 3x, sorry. This equation of f of x is the same as the one that we were doing in the previous question. It's literally the same. So just note that. And then we are told that we need to identify the values of x if f of x minus 3. So which means where there's x, we put x minus 3. So f of x minus 3 is equals to x minus 3 whole squared minus 3 x minus 3, right? It's less than or equals to 0, right? So it's less than or equals to 0. So we need to identify the values of x when that happens. So what do we do here? It's simple. What was the shift here? It's x minus 3, which is equals to 0. That is the shift. That is the difference here between this and the previous problem here, which is the one that we did, right? That's the shift. So meaning, what was the solution of the previous question? The solution of the previous question was x must lie between 0 and 3, right? So since here, the shift is x minus 3 equals to 0. We're going to transpose this 3 to the other side. We have x is equals to 3. So meaning we're going to add 3 here. We're going to add 3 here. And then x will lie between 3 and 6. So this would be the solution for this problem here. I hope you guys understood this one. If you don't, you know the drill. Let me know in the comment section. So that's the solution for B. Then 1.3 now. We're almost done with the first question of this paper. 1.3, what are we given here? We are told that the sum of two numbers, we don't know these numbers, sum of these two numbers is equals to minus 10. So let's say these two numbers is x plus y, so it's equals to minus 10. That's the first thing we know. And then the product of the same numbers, meaning the x and y, is equals to minus 600. So the product of xy is equals to minus 600. Equation 2. I'm sure you guys can see what this is. This is a simultaneous equation, right? So we are basically determining the value of x and y. Hence they say determine the value of the two numbers. So we're going to identify the third equation here, and then we continue to solve. So we're going to use this equation to identify the third equation. So we just say y is equals, or we can just use the second one. Literally you choose on which one works for you. Let me just use the second one just. I'm sure everyone would like, okay, so can you please do the second one? So the second one, we can say y is equals to minus 600 over x, right? We're using the second equation. I just divided by x both sides. So this would be my third equation. Then we're going to substitute this equation 3 that we just created into the first equation that we didn't use, right? So whenever we see y, we're going to put minus 600 over x, right? So it's going to be x plus, and then we put the minus 600 over x equals to minus 10, right? And then from here, we need to get rid of the x that is at the bottom by multiplying by x, all sides, multiply by x. It's going to be x squared minus 600 is equals to minus 10x. Then we put it in standard form. We have x squared plus 10x minus 600 is equals to 0, right? And then from here, you just factorize. Find the factors of this problem here is 20 and 30. And then here it's x and x, right? So it's going to be minus 20 and plus 30. So it's going to be x is equals to 20 or x is equals to minus 30. right? So these are the solutions of x. Now we need to identify the solutions of y. So y is equal to 600 over x, remember that. But here we got x equals to 20, so we substitute that 20, so it's 600 over 20, right? Which is 30, right? So it's going to give you 30. So it's y is equals to 30, right? Or another solution of y is equals to 600 over x. In this case, x equals to minus 30, right? So y is equals to, oops, as you can see here, this is negative. So meaning this should be negative, this should be negative, and this should be negative. Thank you if you saw that. So you have negative 30. So meaning here it's also negative. So you're going to have negative 600 all over minus 30. Going to give us what? Please punch through your calculator. I'm getting 20. So these are your solutions of x. You got all your 5 marks, or should I say all your 29 marks for question 1. I'm sure you guys did. Thank you so much for watching. Please check the description of this video. There's another link for other questions. Question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5, all the way up to the end. Check the description of this video. Don't just leave it, so that you get ready to prepare yourself as you're about to write down the June exam. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comment section below, or say hi, as I'm saying hi to you. Thank you so much. Take care.